My website is not working and I don't know what happens. The WordPress database is super important. When you using the database of the WordPress, then basically what it does is when you have something like a form on your website or uh, other data, metadata or something like that, and the form will make a request and then it gets the database information to make an action. So it can be that you have a lot of database that you don't use, before, for example, when you are deleting a plugin, but it still remains on the database, and that can cost a lot of room space. Sorry, in your on your websites, and sometimes it takes so much space that it can reach the limit of the provider that give you the data on the database. So when you're using a VPN, then it's not important because it won't use so much data on the database and it's not limited. But when you're using a WordPress hosting, then it will be limited. So when you're going to the hosting company that you're using, and when you go into the plans, then you can see that there are certain of limitations. So let's go to the plans. Where are they? Let's go to the homepage of Hostner. This is a very good company. So when you go into hosting and you go to the WordPress hosting, then you see the plans and you see here the limitations that it gives. So it depends on the plan that you are using, but there are some certain of limitations. Um, so we want to keep our database clean. And if you're going, for example, to this website, we are using this website for the example, and everything works fine. You can log in, there is no problem at all. You can do whatever you want. But when something changes in the database, for example, capabilities, so we double click on it and we remove this. And we're going back to the website and we refresh it, then we still can log in, but you see there is a problem. So there are sort of things that are very important in your database, so we have to put it back. Let's see, it was, so this is the particular database, and I can't find it anymore. Oh, here it is. Sorry, I'm so sorry. So we going to put it back, and then it works fine. It should be working fine. So it's back again. You see, you can log in. I'm going to show you where you can find that. So when you go into the WordPress config file, so you go into the particular websites and then you go to the WordPress config file, and then you double click on it. And of course I have to log in because I was to log out too much of too long. So let's do it from the basic. My SQL, the PHP, my admin. No, we have to go to the files, sorry. So here there are the files, files manager. Then we go to the root of the files and we open the files and we scrolling down till we find the WordPress config PHP. And then you can see here the whole website database. So this is the database name and the database user. So this is the particular database what you saw where we have made the change, and the database passwords. So these are super important data, and this is the prefix of the database. So when we change this, for example, we delete this and let's save it, and let's see what happens with the website. So this is all the things that I want to show you, that it's super important. You see, then it goes to the default installation of WordPress because it says it has no WordPress installation, but it does has a WordPress installation. The only thing is that you don't see it anymore. So it thinks that it doesn't have a WordPress installation, but you have a WordPress installation. So you installate the WordPress, and then you have a double WordPress installation. So that can cause a lot of problems. So the database is super important. So let's change it. Let's put it back. WP. Now it can, in your case, it can be something else, but in this case it is WordPress WP, the prefix. Now, of course, this is also an example. So I'm going to delete this website. So for security reasons, there is no security here because, well, you can hack it, whatever. It doesn't matter at all for me. So that has been said. Then we're going back to the website. We refresh it and let's put it the PHP install. So you see here in the link install PHP, but we have to get rid of the last line, and then we enter it, and we are back into the website. So here is the first thing that you have to do before you clean up the database is, of course, make a backup of your website. Always make a backup of your website when you do certain kind of things, because when something goes wrong, don't blame it on me, blame it on yourself because you didn't have made a backup. So I'm using the WordPress Vfit plugin, and it's very easy to make a backup. I've already made a tutorial about that, making backups with this plugin, or immigrate one website to the other websites. But we are going to do something else with this plugin, and this is the database snapshots. So it makes a snapshot of the database, and when something goes wrong with cleaning the database, then you can turn back the snapshots and restore the database. You have also the WordPress reset plugin, and what this does is also making a snapshot. It's not a backup, keep that in mind. It's only a snapshot, so it doesn't works exactly as a backup, but it also restores only the snapshot that you have made. But this WordPress reset makes a snapshot of the whole website, and this one makes only the snapshot for the database. Now, if you install this WordPress Vfit plugin, and you have installed the WordPress reset, it will make it can cause problems, and that is one of the examples of the database conflicts. So basically, it's the database are little boxes, and when you call one of those boxes, then there will be an action. But when there are boxes in your database and that have the same information, and when you are calling something and there will be open 2 or 3 boxes, then there can be a conflict because they have basically the same information, only the actions will be different. I hope that makes sense. So you don't want to have to open all the boxes that have the information with different kind of actions. Okay. So we have installed the WordPress Vfit plugin, and we have activated the database snapshots. So we have to activate it. Then we are first making a manual backup. So you go into the backups, and then you make the backup. You can choose for backup now, and when it doesn't work, then you can go to the settings. I told you I already made a tutorial about this, so we're not going to dig it out in this tutorial. But you can also choose for a backup for the database. So if you only want to have a backup for the database, then you can choose for the database only. But we're not going to make a backup now, but I recommend you to make a database backup before we changing the backups or we cleaning the backup. But for the course of the speed of this tutorial, I won't do that. I will only make a snapshot. So here we have activated, and we see here the database snapshots. I already made 2 of them. And when you go into the settings and you enable the quick snapshots, then you can see here in the admin bar on the top that you can make a quick snapshot, and you can give it a name. So we say test 3, the famous test. Don't use the word test or something like that for security things on your website. For example, to enter into your website test 1, 2, 3, then it's a matter of minutes that a hacker will hack your site. But anyway, we have made the snapshots. Refresh the page, and it should be standing here. So here it is, test number 3. So now we have done that. We have made an a backup from the database. That was the first one what we did, and then we have made a snapshot. So the snapshot is very fast. So when we want to restore it, we only have to click on restore, and it will restore the database. And when that doesn't work even, then you can always use the backup. Another thing that we are going to do is using another plugin. So when we go into the plugins, then I can show you that is the Advanced Database Cleaner Pro, and this is the guy Jonas GFR. So sorry when I'm spelling your name wrong, but you can Google it on the internet. But this is the particular database cleaner that we want to use, and if you can see here, this you can clean this by clicking clean and apply, and you see that it doesn't work because there is a conflict. So we try it again, and it won't work. Yes, it worked. So continue, just had to refresh the page. So then we go into the tables, and then we can scan the tables. So we're going to scan the tables, and it will take a while. And then you see here the orphans, we have to delete them. And we wait a little bit. I also told you something about the HTTPS files. It's very important as well. Watch that tutorial. I'm going to show you that later on in this video. So we see here the options, but what you can do is select the particular plugin or theme. So if you can see here, we have the Cyan Builder, a little speed cache, and the Vfit backup itself. But when you have installed other plugins or themes, then it will be here in the list. So when you have deleted some particular plugin, what you want to do is search for it and then delete it, because you don't need it anymore. and that will make that will delete the plugin, so it won't take space in the database. It won't take space in the database. So you can select it, and then you can click the button filter, and it will filter and select all the database from the particular plugin or theme that you're using. But as you can see here, we have the options, and we can get rid of them. Now check them before you do that. You can also show more items here per page. Then you can click on show. So 500, then you can click on it, and then you can choose for delete and apply. Continue, and it will delete it. Now you have also the options, but when you're scanning that, and then you will see the options. By the options, the orphans, and you can scan it, but watch out, because when it's in serial number, it will also shows the serial numbers. Then when you delete it, then you have the problems with the updates or with the plugin itself. So then it's recommendable to choose it from the list, and you're going one by one by list and delete them one by one. Okay, that was it for cleaning the database. It's super important, because you don't want to have things on your database that takes a lot of space and slows down your website, give conflicts, forms won't work, especially paid for payment forms, and this tool can help you. Actually, both of those tools. So that was it for this tutorial. Keep your database clean, and I'll see you soon in the next one. Thanks, and consider to subscribe.